Monday Night Football. Buffalo Bills defensive player Damar Hamlin, after what seemed to be a typical tackle in a scary moment, collapses on the field. What do we know? I'm Jazz Berganza, and this is what's next. Hey, what's up, everyone? Jazz Berganza here, another episode of What's Next, your daily dose of common sense, facts, and salt. But this is not one of those episodes. You will see something on TV that is rare, but it's scary. Last night was one of them. Monday Night Football, which is seen by millions around the world. Of course, football fans, I am one of them. You had the Buffalo Bills versus the Cincinnati Bengals in Week 17. And what seemed to be a typical tackle by one Buffalo Bills defensive player, Damar Hamlin. After the tackle, he got up and he collapsed. Of course, everyone's running around as far as figuring out what's going on. Unfortunately, you had ambulances come onto the field. They performed CPR, and right now he is in a Buffalo hospital in critical condition, and we pray for his recovery. But what do we know? Let's take a look. This comes out of Outkick. Damar Hamlin collapses of cardiac arrest as nightmare scenario comes true. CPR was performed for over 7 minutes on the field to restore his heartbeat, and soon 65,000 people at Paycor Stadium who watched it all unfold stood in numb silence. But as soon as all hell was breaking out in both Cincinnati Bengals and Buffalo Bills locker room and the NFL offices in New York, Hamlin was taken by ambulance to University of Cincinnati Medical Center, where efforts to save his life continued into the night. He is listed in critical condition, according to the NFL. Now we go from that to a better explanation, from one who does this for a living. He is a doctor of sports medicine, Brian Suter.
What we just witnessed tonight is one of the most rare things we can see in sports medicine, as Damar Hamlin went down with what appeared to be cardiac arrest after taking this hit on the field. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Dr. Brian Suter, and on this channel I try to teach you about the sports medicine world and give you some insight into what we see on the field. What we saw happen tonight is not related to any sort of vaccines. This is almost certainly something called commotio cordis, an extremely rare condition that's one of those things that we typically only think we're going to read about in textbooks. Essentially what can happen is if you have a blunt trauma to the chest that occurs at exactly the right time in the cardiac electrical cycle, your heart can be sent into cardiac arrest. As Hamlin comes in here, we can see this square hit to the front of his chest. We see him get back up momentarily before ultimately collapsing back down to the ground and requiring CPR on the field. This is a tracing of our heart's electrical activity. Basically, this is one cycle of the heart squeezing. Starts off with this P wave, which is the electrical activity of the atrium at the top of the heart squeezing, then the QRS complex, which is going to be the ventricles acting, but then the last phase is this T wave, where the ventricle basically depolarizes and kind of resets to get ready for the next cycle. For commotio cordis to happen, you have to suffer this blunt trauma to the chest at exactly the right moment, specifically on this upstroke of the T wave, in order for the heart to then be sent into this arrhythmia and subsequent cardiac arrest. This is one of those things that not only do you have to have a high enough force, but it has to happen within milliseconds of a time window, because if that impact comes at any other time in this electrical cycle, you're fine, you don't go into this. But when it happens at just this right time during this upstroke of the T wave, and if it's high enough, then you can have this thing called commotio cordis. We typically think of it happening in baseball players whenever they get hit in the middle of the chest with a hard thrown ball, but unfortunately that looks like what is most likely to have happened here with Hamlin. Treatment like this is obviously CPR and defibrillation as quickly as possible, because this can absolutely be a life-threatening thing. Again, this is not something that people should go speculate about vaccines or anything like that causing this cardiac arrest. There was a clear contact, a clear trauma, and I think a clear reason why unfortunately this happened for Hamlin. My thoughts and prayers go out to the player, go out to his family, everybody else there on the field, the medical staff taking care of him. This is an extremely serious thing. One of those conditions that, like I said, you hope, you pray, you never actually see as a medical provider. Hopefully this was educational. Let me know as always any questions or comments down below. And until next time, we'll see you later. Bye.
About the type of hit.
Yeah, Susan, we play a violent game. And, damn. You just hate to see it. That's all. I just pray for the young man. Pray for his family right now. That's all I can say. All I know how to do right now.
Well, When a teammate is down and then the game is expected to resume, how as a player do you gather yourself?
I've never been in that.
My thoughts. Yeah, exactly. Who would know better than a doctor who specializes in sports medicine as Dr. Brian Suter? Again, thoughts and prayers. That was something that I've never seen on a football field before. And someone who's watched football over the years, since I was 7 years old, you see a number of things happen. You see broken legs, ACL tears, shoulder separations, broken ribs, broken noses, teeth getting knocked out. You see things like that happen and you're like, okay, it's football. It's what it is. It's a very violent sport and things happen. But something like this, I've never seen in my lifetime of watching NFL on television or in person. So you take a step back. You take a step back away from the game to realize what's important. And right now, the outpouring of prayers towards Damar Hamlin and his family are very much needed. So that is what we're continuing to do. And right now, as I stated, this is an ongoing issue. He is in critical condition. And Lord, that he recovers and he recovers quickly. And with that being said, I'm Jazz Berganzo. This is What's Next. We'll see much like this. Please leave a comment below. Like it, share it, subscribe to it. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.